Welcome back to the Doorkickers player channel. I do recommend that you put this video in 2x speed. I like to articulate, I like to talk slowly, and that can kind of get on some nerves. It gets on my nerves, I'll be honest. I do not enjoy listening to my videos or watching my videos because I talk pretty slowly. I do it on purpose. It's because I don't want to use any filler words. Well, I try not to use filler words. They do slip out every once in a while, but I'm working on it. So for your viewing pleasure, feel free to put this video into X speed. Now, this mission is called Fear-Through Lane Derelict Workshop. This is the 38th mission in the single missions on the Doorkickers mobile game. And this is a eliminate all the terrorists mission. There are no hostages, no VIPs, no civilians, just bad guys. And because there's just bad guys, the rules kind of change. Or, well, the way I go about it changes. Whenever there's a mission objective, like rescuing a hostage or escorting a VIP or something like that. Excuse me, pretty tired. But whenever there's a mission objective, I like to focus on the mission. I like to rescue the hostages. It makes it more fun that way. But for a mission like this, it there is no mission objective, so I kind of have to rethink my strategy. And my strategy in the end was to split up all my operators and have them each go through rooms, try to stay as safe as possible, but at the same time, just trust that I'm making the right decisions as we go along, not to get them killed. Now, that being said, this was obviously not my first time running through this mission. It took a bunch of tries, and starting from mission 42, I've actually been recording all of my attempts. And you'll see what I mean by when I say this is not my first time. At some point, the issue is that with the complexity of the game and the maps, it kind of just gets really difficult to the point where you just have to memorize all of the positions. Whoops. Sorry about that. So at some point, you just have to memorize all of the positions where the tangos are going to be because there's just no other way to complete the mission objective and get 3 stars. That being said, could you properly follow the rules of CQB and still complete the mission objective? Sure. Will you get 3 stars? Not necessarily, because the rules of CQB don't really apply. Because whenever the operators are moving through space, they don't check the corners. The operators in the game, they're complete robots. You have to instruct every single movement. And so sometimes you just forget because you have to think for 4 people. And so I forget sometimes to have them look this way or have them look that way or pause. Or sometimes I'm too lazy. Sometimes I want them to push forward because I don't want to have to redraw the entire route that I have set for them. So instead of moving back where and taking cover where an operator would, I push forward and end up getting the operators killed. So it gets kind of interesting. I blacked out there for a second. I'm not really sure what I said, but the point is, the game gets interesting. So, all right, let's get into it. All right, so before we start, if anyone wants to have a look at the routes we have planned, now this is not going all the way through, and I find that trying to plan a route so that you don't have to pause at all is impossible because there's always changes in where the tangos are going to pop out of. And like for example, sometimes you'll have an operator that you want them to stop at a specific spot and aim or look in a certain direction, and you just can't get your finger on there, and just it won't. So and then there are times when I have to take, put I have to make the operators take cover, and then I have to redraw the entire route. It just gets frustrating. So I like to draw the parts that I know are going to go well, just the beginning few steps, positions, and then from there draw the next few positions, and then from there until the end. That's the most convenient way that I've found so far. So I'm just gonna describe this real quick. The bottom where the play pause button is, that's the one side. Moving on to where the settings button is, that's the two side and the three side. And then where the operators currently are is the four side. So we have two operators are going to start off by staying. Actually, it's only one operator. So only one operator is going to stay on the three side, and three operators are going to go to the one side. Then one operator is going to move because this is just like a big warehouse full of tiny rooms. So one operator is going to go to the four side rooms, those small rooms in there, and then two operators are going to stay in the main area. Then one operator is going to move down towards the one side along with the operator that went to the four side. So they're going to move, the operator that went to the four side rooms and the operator that's going to the one side rooms are going to move down together and just clear those areas, while the operator that stayed in the main area, he's going to clear the main area and then start clearing. Like it's very confusing and complicated. The operator that's on the three side is just going to hug the wall, get up there, and then help clear the main area as well. It gets very complicated and very confusing. I'm not going to try to explain it, except for it's just logic. That's the only thing I can really say right now. Just logic. Try to put as many people in as many places as you can as quickly as possible. That's the only option, and there's no other option in this situation. It's just put as many people in as many different places as you can as quickly as possible, and pray to God that no one dies. That's literally the only way you survive the situation, unless you use like 15 flashbangs. But then it would take like 20 minutes to get through this entire warehouse. So if you're trying to go quick, it's the only viable option. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that first tango, and that alerts the other tangos that we've arrived. Now we're just kicking down the door. So in future missions, I like to use what's called in the game the dynamic hammer. The problem is that, well, the reason I like to use it is because it's a lot quicker at breaking down doors that are locked. The issue is that it slows down the operator, so you have one operator going slower. So depending on the mission, I'll have one operator with the dynamic hammer, but I'll have him designated a point man, so he's just carrying a pistol, no rifle. And so when he's carrying a pistol and a sledgehammer, he's going at the same pace as the assaulters. So it works out. But in a situation like this where you need 4 operators with rifles, you can't afford to have one of them only have a pistol. So you're just gonna go you're just gonna break it down with the crowbar, and if that's the fastest way, it's the fastest way. If it's not the fastest way, try to pick the lock or use a door blast. But there's really you can't afford to have an operator go slower or to have an operator with no rifle. So I think this was the best option. All right, so we're making sure all 4 operators are there. We're gonna throw one flashbang. Okay, this is interesting. So when you throw a flashbang, it typically takes the tangos out or disorients them for a good 3 or 4 seconds. Sorry. It takes them it disorients them for a good 3 to 4 seconds, and in that time you can actually throw a second flashbang. So that's extremely it creates a great advantage. I just remember there's something else I want to talk about, but back to the advantage point. It creates a great advantage because you basically once you throw that flashbang in there, you basically have 3 to 4 seconds where you could move around, check the corners, and you don't have to shoot the tangos. It gives you time to get into position, and that's it kind of becomes really important in later missions and more complicated missions because let's say you've got hostages blocking the tangos. You need that flashbang to disorient the tango so that you have enough time to get an operator in there in between the hostage and the tango. So flashbangs are your friend. Definitely are your friend in this game. Alright, so now we just have operators moving around. Like I said, trying to get as many operators in different places as quickly as I can. Alright, so this is the precise reason that I don't draw all the way through. Because right here, the operator on the one side, so he just had to retreat, take concealment, or take cover from the tangos because he was getting shot. And if you have a whole route planned out, then dragging the operator to hide behind cover is just going to cancel out the route. And it just frustrates because now you have to redraw the whole route, right? So you might as well just not draw all the way to the end. You might as well just draw in sections to get where you want to go so that when you're retreating or taking cover, you didn't spend 20 minutes drawing the perfect route only to get it canceled out. So yeah, this is a great example of why I don't draw the whole thing through. I draw it in portions and then adjust if I need to. And it's going to prove useful because now the other operator had time to catch up with him and help him take out tangos. So just about here, I'm aware that there's at least one tango in this corner here. And there might be one behind the door. And right now I'm like, okay, well, why didn't the game end? Because usually that's the last tango in that one side corner. But it wasn't the last tango. It turns out the last tango was hiding right there.
Good job. We're done here.
I don't know how he got there. As you can see, I've cleared every single room, every single spot in this building. I've cleared it. So where did this guy come from? I don't know. I guess this tango might have been in the exact spot that my operators weren't at every single point throughout this game, but it's very unlikely. So I think this was just a little developer's joke where they basically, if you finished the operation quickly, or if you took a certain route, or maybe just randomly, they'll just have an operator just pop up somewhere that you passed. Maybe it's a developer's joke. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't because I clearly I cleared every single inch. So yeah, I'm a little confused, but it's all good because we got 3 stars, mission completed, all hostiles eliminated. So we're all good. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, make sure to subscribe. If there's anything that you want to see in these videos specifically, if you want to see the replays, just the replays, if you want more of the game audio, if you want to see the tactics, the kits, the strategies, if you want me to talk more about whatever it might be, feel free to suggest that in the comments. And I'll see y'all in the next video.